What's up, team? Welcome to day 3. I'm sure by now your upper body is probably gassed, so we're going to switch gears and hit the legs for today. And since we're on a short week, instead of doing core and cardio on separate days, we're going to combine them together. So tomorrow's workout will be core and cardio, really focusing on the abs and getting that heart rate up. For today's workout, we're going to switch it up a little bit in the format. So we put the training wheels on in the beginning, kept it to really simple circuits. Now we're going to try to add a new element. So the style of this workout is going to be progressions. So we have 5 different templates or elements, and we're going to build off of those things. So we have squat variation, hip bridge variation, deadlift variation, some sort of isometric hold, and then some sort of lunge variation. So each exercise, we're going to start with the simplest variation and progress to 2 more challenging variations. So that way it makes the workout tougher, but also gives you an idea of some of the simpler regressions to do when you're working out, or some of the more advanced progressions that you can do when you're working out. So feel free to modify as needed. Make sure you get your warm-up in first. Once you're warmed up, we'll get started. So the timing for today is going to be 20 seconds on, 5-second transition. So very short transition. Today's workout, you're going to feel a lot of the quads, the hamstrings, and the glutes. Okay, so we're going to go through 3 rounds of each. 20 on, 5-second transition, 3 sets, 30-second break, 3 rounds. Doesn't make sense? Don't worry, follow along. I'll make sure you guys know what to do. So the first group here, we're going to start with the squat variations. So the first exercise is the goblet squat. 1 dumbbell is all you need here. And remember, with leg day, you can always go a little bit heavier, especially heavier than a regular push or pull upper body day. So goblet squat, you're going to hold that weight, elbows in tight, keep the weight just under your chin, sit back into that squat, and then drive up. So goblet squats, you're looking for 20 on, 5 seconds off. Suitcase squat, you're going to have 2 weights down by your sides, squat down. I only consider this a progression because you're using 2 weights, so double the weight. The third one is going to be a front squat, so you're going to rest the weights on your shoulders here, try to keep those elbows up, and squat from there. So the squat pattern is the exact same for all 3 exercises. Just the weight of holding the dumbbells is going to affect what makes it easier or harder. Now the second one will be bridge variation. So you can do the first exercise with or without a dumbbell. This one's just a regular hip bridge. So if you're using a weight, you're going to place that weight on your hips, feet nice and close to your body so you have nice vertical shins. Drive up from the heels, squeeze your glutes, come back down. So drive up, come back down. That's the first one. Second one, you're going to use single legs. So one leg comes off the ground, you can go with or without weight, drive up, come back down. If that's too hard, you can make it a little bit easier by extending that other leg. That way you're still doing a single leg variation, but your other foot is kind of supporting you a little bit more. And then the third one here, you don't need a weight. We're going to do a bridge walk. So hip bridge, walk as far as you can, bring it back. So all of these bridge variations are meant to work the hamstrings and glutes. Any single leg variation that we do, since we have 3 rounds, I always suggest choosing your weaker side first and third. So you do an extra set on the weaker side, but that's up to you. The third one here, we're going to do deadlift variations. First one is a regular deadlift, so feet about hip width apart, keep the weights close to your body the whole time, sit back in the heels, hinge, and push. And as you hinge, you want to feel a really good stretch in the back of your legs. Remember, it's not a squat, so you're not going up and down. Instead, think about going back and forth. The weight is on your heels here the whole time. Second one is a kickstand deadlift. So one foot slightly in front of the other. You don't need to exaggerate it. Back foot can either be planted or heel can be off the ground, whatever you prefer. And then you're just going to do another regular deadlift in this position. Hinge, push. So this variation is going to emphasize that front leg. And then the third exercise here, you can go 2 weights, 1 weight, or even just body weight. We're going to do a single leg deadlift. So this is going to test your balance, coordination, stability, and mobility. So one leg slightly bent. You're going to bring that other leg back behind you. Weight stays close to your body. Chest is up. Back stays straight. Make sure you're not caving into that back. So you're sitting up nice and tall. Take your time. You might fall once or twice, and that's okay. The fourth group, we're going to work on some holds. So the first one, if you have access to a wall, you're going to do a nice wall sit. So feet about shoulder width apart, get down so your hips and knees line up. Make sure you're not resting your hands on your legs. Head back, shoulders back, and hold that position. If you don't have access to a wall, you can do a squat hold, which is actually more of an advanced variation. So either one of those is fine. Next, we're going to do a hip bridge hold. So switching things up, working the hamstrings here. Same thing we did with the bridges, except you're not going to wrap it out, you're just going to hold that position. And then the third one here, we're going to do a lunge hold. This one you can do body weight or with dumbbells. So one leg forward, one leg back, drop that knee, and hold. If you want to make it tougher, one or two weights is an alternative. Okay, so final group, we're going to use weights here for lunges. Try with 2 dumbbells. If that's too heavy, you can go 1 dumbbell. If that's too hard, you can go just body weight. So the easiest lunge variation is going to be the reverse lunge. So you're stepping back, alternate legs. It's easy because it's easier to balance, and it also takes a lot of pressure off your knees. So if you have bad knees, the best lunge variation for you is going to be that reverse lunge, stepping back, rather than a forward lunge. Second exercise here will be a static or stationary lunge. So one leg forward, one leg back. You're going to drop that back knee, drive up from your front heel. So the feet don't move, feet are just anchored in the ground here. You'll do one leg at a time. And then the third exercise, I like to use 1 dumbbell here. You're more than welcome to use 2, but it gets a little uncomfortable. We're going to do side lunges. So you can either go one at a time, or you can go side to side. Totally up to you. I'll explain why the side lunge is such a good variation and why it's a progression. But that's how the format's going to work for today. We're going to start with the squats. Goblet, suitcase, front squats in 30 seconds. Okay, so remember for the goblet squat, 1 dumbbell's all you need. Try to go nice and heavy here. Get down low with the squat. 20 seconds on, 5 seconds off. We're going to move quick after each set. So we'll begin in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1 dumbbell here, elbows in tight. Sit back, squat, drive up. Make sure your heels aren't coming off the ground. Make sure your knees aren't caving in. So you want to look at your knees. They should be tracking over your feet, not coming in. 3, 2, 1. So grab that second weight. Short transition here. Suitcase squat ready. Let's go. So short active times, but also very short breaks. Suitcase squat, same idea. You're going to feel a little bit more of a stretch in the hips. Using 2 weights just makes it a little bit more challenging with that additional stress there. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Front squats up next. Okay, ready? Let's go. So same squat. The only difference now is you're resting those weights on your shoulders. So this variation, you're going to get a lot more core, a lot more posture, a lot more shoulders. So just more elements overall, making it the most challenging squat variation. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Take a break. So 30-second break. We're going to go through 2 more rounds of that. So the good thing with the progressions, it doesn't start off too bad. But by the second and third round, you're going to get that lactic acid building up in the legs. You're going to get that heart rate up. And it's making it increasingly difficult. So we're going to start with that goblet squat again. Nice and heavy here. We're going to try to bust out those heavy weights for now. All right, 5 seconds. In 3, 2, 1. Goblet squat. So down, drive up. Always keep that chest up, back straight. One of my favorite cues for this one, try to keep your elbows inside of your legs, or at least on top, not flaring out. So if you can keep your elbows inside your knees, great. Otherwise, just don't let them flare out. 3, 2, 1. Suitcase squat. Okay, ready? Let's go. Remember, just because I'm not bumping music doesn't mean that you guys shouldn't be bumping music. Find that playlist. If you need a hand with the playlist, I'll share you some of mine. Makes that workout just a little bit easier to push through when you have that music that you like. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Front squat. Okay, ready? Let's go. Nice and low. Drive. Keeping that chest up, especially with that front squat, you want to make sure that the weights aren't allowing your body to cave forward. Still sitting up nice and tall. Nice and proud. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Take 30 seconds, we're gonna go through one more round. So another neat cue I like to use with the squats, you can really emphasize either the quads or the glutes by how hard you squeeze. So if you really want to squeeze your quads or work your quads, when you come up, squeeze as hard as you can for 2 to 3 seconds. Like forcefully as hard as you can. If you want to work your glutes more, same thing by squeezing your butt and hold for 2 or 3 seconds. Really emphasize that. Okay, round 3. In 3, 2, 1, goblet squat. One more of each here. And then we're going to transition, use some of those bridges to work the back part of our legs. So try to get that extra emphasis here, really squeeze your either glutes or quads at the top. Get that mind muscle connection, especially if you don't have heavy weights. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so suitcase squats up next. Ready? Let's go. So even if you only have one dumbbell, you can do the suitcase squat with that one dumbbell down by your side. And by doing that, you're going to get a lot more core engagement, a lot more of those small stabilizer muscles recruited with that one. Almost there. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Last one here, front squat. Okay, ready? Let's go. So this will be the last set for squats before going into some hip bridge variations. Got about 10 seconds to go. Nice and low with those squats. Finish off strong here. In 3, 2, 1. Let's take 30 seconds, guys. Hip bridges, single leg, and then walkouts coming up. So remember those hip bridges you can do with or without a weight. Squeeze your bum as hard as you can at the top. Come down control. You want to feel this one right in your back. A little bit in the hamstrings, then knock the lower back. Okay, let's begin in 3, 2, 1. Hip bridge. With the hip bridge, you're always driving up from your heels. So it's not the balls of your feet pushing off the ground, it's your heels that are digging in, keeping those shins nice and vertical, and give your glutes a good squeeze at the top. 3, 2, 1. So next we're doing the same thing. We're just going to lift one leg off the ground here. Ready? Let's go. Remember, if you want to make this one a little bit easier, you can just plant that foot down on the ground, but try to emphasize whichever knee is bent. Because you're really trying to isolate that one glute. The next set will be the bridge walkouts. 3, 2, 1. Bridge walkouts. Next, you don't need to wait for this one. You can keep it on if you like. Ready? Go. Hips up. Walk out. Notice that my hips stay up the whole time. And then walk back. The more you walk out, the further you walk out, the more hamstrings you're going to feel. The closer you are, the more glutes you should feel. 3, 2, 1. And break for 30 seconds. Same thing, 2 more rounds. The only difference this time is for that single leg hip bridge, you're going to switch sides. So same idea. Make sure you're really trying to squeeze those glutes, so get that mind muscle connection. Most of us are very quad dominant, so we're really good when it comes to squats and lunges, but our bridges are weak, our deadlifts are weak. So it's important that we get some of those exercises engaged as well. Okay, so hip bridge in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Drive up, come back down. And of course, if you do have a really heavy weight, you can use it for this one. All you're doing is you're placing that weight on your hips. You can use a mini band for this one too, so feel free to modify. 3, 2, 1. So next we're going to bring that opposite leg off the ground this time. Ready? Let's go. And same thing. Nice and controlled. Make sure when you're driving up, you're not overarching the back. You don't want to compensate with your lower back because your glutes are weak. So that's when you want to get into a modification. Maybe place that other foot on the ground just for additional support. 2, 1. Bridge walkouts. Ready? Let's go. So most hamstring exercises aren't going to be super intense, but it's more about just getting that blood flow to the area. the quad exercises tend to take a lot more out of your energy. Nice walk out, bring them back. 3, 2, 1, and break. 30 seconds. We're gonna go through one more round. So choose that if you decide to do the single leg hip bridge. Or you can just do 2 sets in a row with a regular hip bridge if you don't want to do one more than the other. And we'll start in 10 seconds. After this one, we're going to go to the deadlifts. It's another posterior chain exercise. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Drive up. Come back down. Notice I always take a good 2 or 3 seconds at the top, because what I'm doing there is I'm just squeezing my glutes as hard as I can, and then I'm slowly bringing my hips down. Everything is nice and controlled, everything is done for a reason. 3, 2, 1. Single leg bridge, choose that weaker leg. Ready, go. Or you can switch halfway if you want. I'll let you know what the halfway point is, but it is pretty short. Halfway if you want to switch. And then the bridge walkouts will be up next. 3, 2, 1. Bridge walkouts, last one. Ready, go. Walk out as far as you can, and then bring them back. Don't make the mistake of allowing your hips to drop. So you want to keep them up so you're in that bridge position the whole time. You should really feel those hamstrings now. 3, 2, 1, and done. 30 seconds, guys. Deadlifts, kickstand deadlifts, single leg deadlifts up next. So like I mentioned earlier, so many people are quad dominant, so the deadlift ends up looking like this, or like this. Instead, you want to hinge and feel back here the whole time. You shouldn't be feeling this one too much with the lower back tomorrow. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Just a regular deadlift here. Think about hip width apart. Hinge and push. This should be the easiest variation for the deadlifts here. If you want a good cue, stay a few inches away from the wall. Keep going back until your butt touches the wall. That way you know you're going into that hip hinge. 3, 2, 1. Kickstand, so one leg, one foot slightly in front of the other. Ready? Let's go. Majority of the weight should be on your front heel here. That back foot is just there for support. This is a really good exercise for isolating that one front hamstring. Almost there, guys. 3, 2, 1. Single leg deadlift. So whatever leg was planted will stay planted. Ready? Let's go. So this one's going to really test your balance and support, but it's a really good indicator of how strong your glutes are, how stable your knees are. If you're able to do this one comfortably, you're much less likely to hurt yourself or to have bad knees or bad hips. So it's a great exercise to do. 3, 2, 1, and break. 30-second break, guys. Same thing. This time for the single leg stuff, we're going to switch legs. But really good identifiers to see how good those stabilizer muscles are, especially with that single leg deadlift. So before you go really heavy with the deadlifts, make sure you can do a single leg deadlift first before you start lifting hundreds of pounds. That way you have a strong base of support, really good core, really good stability. So round 2 is coming up. 3, 2, 1. Traditional. We call these Romanian deadlifts, which has a much smaller bend in the knees to really emphasize the hamstrings. Conventional deadlifts have a bit more bend in the knees, and that would be if you have really heavy weights, so if you're lifting like 200 pounds on the barbell or something like that. 3, 2, 1. Kickstand, so switch sides this time. Ready? Let's go. So very slight bend in that front knee. The weight is all on that front heel, and you want to feel the hamstring. So really important that you really shouldn't feel it anywhere else other than the back of that front leg. Nice stretch. Taking your time, nice and slow. 3, 2, 1. Single leg deadlift, other side. You'll notice one side's going to be harder here, even for myself. Let's go. Keep the weight close to your body. Chest stays up. Back is straight. You notice that my body's not caving in here. This is also a good ankle test. If your foot is wobbling around like crazy, you probably need to work on your ankle stability a little bit as well. 3, 2, 1, and done. Rest up, 30 seconds. We're gonna go through that again one more time. So if you're struggling with the single leg deadlift, drop the weights. Practice just with your body weight. Even if you have to hold onto a wall, hold onto a chair or a table, just practice getting that balance, that support, neutral spine, and emphasis on the hamstring. So round 3, see if you can choose that weaker side. If the weaker side has no stability, you can go stronger side, but make sure you practice. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go. So deadlift, hinge, push. Nice little stretch here. So these deadlifts, you should, if you have heavy weights, you can go really heavy. Because you're not really doing much with the weights other than just holding on to them, acting as if your hands are just anchors. 3, 2, 1, kickstand deadlift. Ready, let's go. So hinge, and then come up. Keeping that chest up. You don't want to allow those shoulders to just drop down. So you're actively pulling them down and back. Remember, you don't need a super wide stance here either. 3, 2, 1. Last one, single leg deadlift. Let's see if you're getting better as you go. Go. So nice bend in that front leg. You don't want to go too low because you're not squatting there. Just softening that knee. Back leg is extended. Another common mistake people make is not allowing that back leg to come up high enough. So you really want to bring that back leg up. Lean forward. 3, 2, 1, and break. So next we're going to do those holds. First hold we're going to do here is a wall sit, so there's access to a wall. Otherwise, a squat hold is fine. Then you're going to do a bridge hold followed by a lunge hold. So if you're relatively advanced, you can go heavy with a lunge. Otherwise, body weight is fine. So let's get in position here. 3, 2, 1, wall sits. So this one's going to be primarily quads. You want to feel the front part of the leg. Make sure your head's back, shoulders are back, and you're not resting your hands on your legs. So you can cross them over, drop them down, whatever it is you want to do, just don't touch the legs to keep them prevented. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Next we're going to do that hip bridge. Ready? Let's go. Of course, you can use a weight here if you want, but you're pushing the hips up, squeezing your glutes as hard as you can, emphasizing the hamstrings and glutes. So about 10 seconds to go. The lunge hold is up next. In 3, 2, 1. So you can go body weight, you can go one weight, you can go 2 weights. Ready? Let's go. Dropping that back knee. Keep your chest up. Make sure you're not leaning forward. If you're not using a weight, make sure you're not doing this. So you're not leaning into that front leg. Hands should be off your legs. Chest should be up. Back knee should be just a couple inches off the ground. You're going to really feel a good burn in that front quad. 3, 2, 1, and break. So take 30 seconds. We're getting into that whole stretch now. So these last couple rounds are going to be the hardest part of the workout. But we're almost done. Tomorrow, little to no weights, mostly body weight stuff, a lot of abs, a lot of cardio. You should be out of breath by the end of that workout. Heart rate should be racing, so a little bit different of a dynamic. Let's get ready, get back into that wall sit. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So nice and low. 90-degree angle here, so your feet aren't too far out in front of you, they're not too close to the wall. You want a nice 90-degree angle here. Make sure you're low enough into that wall sit so you're not up here. Nice and low, you should be able to rest in a cup of water without spilling over. 3, 2, 1, hip bridge. Ready? Let's go. So one of the more common mistakes with the hip bridge is having those feet too far out in front of you. So make sure you bring them in nice and close and get that muscle activation so you are feeling and squeezing those bum muscles. That's where you want to feel the bridge. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we're going to do a lunge, switch legs this time. Ready? Let's go. So you can go one weight, 2 weights, body weight, your call, but nice and steady. I realize this one, even body weight, it's a relatively advanced exercise. If you can't hold the full 20 seconds, just do your best. It's normal to feel a good burn there, so you're not alone. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's take 30 seconds. One more round here, and we're going to finish off with lunges. Grab some water for a minute. Now you should start to feel those legs creeping up a little bit, feeling a bit of a burn. We'll begin with the wall sit again. As usual, let me know if you did the workout. Let me know how it went, what you liked, didn't like, would like to see next time. Okay, 3, 2, 1, wall sit, let's go. So the good thing about me doing this workout with you guys, I know exactly how it feels. So if there's something to, some comments, critiques that you have, I can relate, I can experience it, so we can go from there as well. Okay, 3, 2, 1, hip bridge. Ready? Let's go. Dig in with those heels, keeping your hips up, chin nice and tucked. And you're just driving the heels down, keeping your hips up and squeezing your glutes simultaneously. Make sure your hips are up higher. 3, 2, 1. All right, last one here, lunge hold. Choose your weaker side. Let's go. Or you can switch halfway through. The problem with the lunge hold is it takes a while to transition, so you might lose some valuable time by switching halfway. But we're halfway now if you do want to switch. Makes it much easier too. You get a little bit of time off the sore or tired leg. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's break 30 seconds. Last group, lunges, reverse, static, and side. So just like with the static, the lunge hold, you can go one weight, you can go 2 weights, or you can go body weight. Start with 2, see how that goes. If you have to regress, then you can regress. We're going to start with the reverse lunge. 3, 2, 1. So step back. And for this one, you can alternate, so you don't have to choose just the one. With the reverse lunge, you're going to get a little bit more of a hip and glute emphasis, a little bit less quads, a little bit less in the knees. So it's the best lunge variation for those of you who have bad knees. 3, 2, 1. Static or stationary lunge. Ready? Let's go. So drop down, drive up. Drop down, drive up. Keeping your chest up. Keep your back straight. Make sure that front foot is flat on the ground, so you're not allowing the heel to come up, and you're not caving your whole body forward. Side lunges are next. 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to go one way here. You can go 2. You can go body weight. Ready? Let's go. You can either go side to side, like I am, or you can choose to do one or the other. This is such a good exercise because it takes you on a different plane. I'll explain what I mean once this set is finished. Try to sit back into that lunge, extend the other leg. 2, 1. So what I mean by that, most exercises are done in the sagittal plane, meaning up, down, front, back. We don't really get many exercises done in the frontal plane when we're going kind of side to side. So the side lunge puts you into a different plane, which is really important when it comes to just overall functional strength and training. So it may feel awkward, but it's a really important exercise and movement to train. That's why I put it as the last progression. Okay, 3, 2, 1, reverse lunge. So by now, if you're using those proper weights, you're gonna start to feel your legs getting a little tired, a little bit of sweat coming down, but we're almost done. Back knee should be an inch off the ground or so, nice and low. 3, 2, 1, static lunge. Ready? Let's go. So drop down, drive up. This is a really good exercise because you get a lot of time under tension, but it's not difficult for balance because your feet are anchored in the ground here, so you don't have to worry too much about the movement aspect of it. 3, 2, 1. Side lunges here. So let's see what you got. Ready? Let's go. Side to side or one side. So that one leg is extended, opposite knee is bent. You're sitting back into that squat. If you can't do this with a weight, try body weight. Try not to modify if you don't have to, because it's so important to get this one down pat. 2, 1. One more round, guys. One more round, and then we're all done for today. So we're gonna go reverse lunge, static lunge, side lunge. See if you can step it up for this last round. Go a little bit heavier, use 2 weights instead of 1. No breaks, whatever it is. Try to step it up here, finish off strong. And then we're done our leg workout. Okay, 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, reverse lunge. Let's go. 3 more sets. Nice and controlled here. 10 seconds. Lunges are such a good exercise. There's a reason we do so many of them. Arguably the most important lower body movement. 3, 2, 1. Static lunge. Ready? Let's go. Drop down, drive up. Keeping it controlled here. So you're on the balls of your feet in that back foot, and then you're evenly distributed on the front foot. Think about dropping that back knee down rather than leaning forward. 3, 2, 1. Last one here, side lunge, and then we're all done. Ready? Let's go. All right, we're gonna go side to side here. Back is straight, nice and controlled. Keeping those elbows in, nice and tight. Finish off strong. 3, 2, 1, and done. That's it for the workout today, guys. Drop a comment below. Let me know how you liked it. Let me know that you just finished the workout so I can keep you accountable. See you tomorrow for cardio and core.